Shut up and sit down.
Are we on?
Yeah. Interesting.
It's gonna play. Chad is not gonna hold anything back there, are you?
Yeah, and I couldn't even do it. You started, so I had to keep going.
Oh, all right.
Welcome back, everybody.
Wait, I want to say it this time.
You did?
Yeah, no, I want to. I didn't yet. Welcome back, everybody. This is Useful Idiots. My name is Paul. And oh, yeah, you got it.
I am.
He's Luke.
I'm Luke. What episode is this, Paul?
Number 16.
I'm glad you looked at your notes for that.
I did. I did. I don't know what we're going to call this episode yet, because you always name them after the fact.
Yeah, I know. I like to think about, I like to kind of hear what we're talking about.
As of yet, untitled, episode 16.
Yeah, it'll probably be something semi-interesting that'll make me think of a really shitty title. But it works, so that's all we really care about. So
will it sound smarter than the episode actually is, though?
Yeah, of course, it always does.
Now you got to take the drink. We're in here for like however long before, and now you're taking the drink while we're on the air.
Way too long we've been in here.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, we're in the new studio, and we've
Our new satellite office.
yeah, we've killed a pretty good amount of flies at this point.
We are the lords of the flies.
Lords of the flies at this point. Lords of the flies. So
Hopefully the weather will cooperate with us this week.
yeah, no rain, hopefully.
Or dogs.
Or dogs. Yeah, no, there's definitely a dog running around my neighborhood lately.
We should emphasize the cool things that happen to us while we're in here.
Yeah, sure. We should
like
do that.
rain and dogs, and we should just be like, hey, listen to the rain, everybody. Like the podcasters don't do that. We could do that.
Yeah, we could
That
definitely do
us.
that. Yeah, we'll be those guys.
That'll be our
wow,
gimmick.
that's a big fly.
Oh, now you tell me not to look at the bugs, and then the giant one comes in.
That's a big one.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I couldn't ignore it for the show.
What
Even.
the hell is that?
We're going to try and completely ignore that for the rest of the show.
Well, as long as it doesn't move, I'm good.
All right, good, me too. So it looks like a flying spider, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
Like
we
a flying
are-
daddy long leg.
We should take a picture of that and put it on.
Put it on the show.
Put it on the show.
This is what we're dealing with.
This is our conditions.
Yeah, so we are back.
Speaking of working conditions,
we
segue.
talking about the union strikes for the schools?
Yes. We're going to talk about teacher unions and all the fun strikes that have gone on in the last 2 months.
Yeah, if that.
Or
About 2 months.
6
is
weeks.
Correct. Yeah. And that's about, 6 states now?
Oh man, I didn't count.
You didn't count?
No,
It's okay.
I didn't count at all.
The counting
Let's
isn't
see:
really-
West Virginia, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Arizona, and Colorado. And in Los Angeles, they averted a strike, so that's how many. I wasn't counting again.
You said which one? Los Angeles?
Well, they were threatening to strike, but then they settled it before.
I have to use the
The laugh track. There you go.
This clap track, yeah. So, yeah, we did get to see a lot of these states. You had a conspiracy theory about this, didn't you?
Yeah, but it kind of got a little.
With the
There
loss.
was- with Colorado. Colorado's kind of a blue state. All these were red states that all the teachers were striking in. I still think it's politically motivated, the strikes. Outside of the obvious pay increases and funding increases the teachers are going for, they're making a political statement.
It's
with what they're
definitely
doing.
political because we had the New York Times.
The elections are in November.
Yeah, but we also had a political statement because the New York Times came out with that video, and it was all political.
I cannot believe how much this video impacted you.
I'm not really somebody to want to play a clip and then just break it down as it goes along. I know that we wanted to do that originally for our show.
We talked about that a couple times.
Yeah, but we decided to kind of go away from that.
Luke decided that, not me.
Yeah, until this episode, until this New York Times video came up, and it was just, I wasn't extremely motivated for the show until I watched this, and then it was just so infuriating having to watch.
I've been extremely motivated for the last 4 days.
Yeah, you have been.
And I only found that clip this morning. I found a similar one before, but I didn't grab it, and I wasn't gonna cut it up and play it.
Well, I started cutting up this clip until I got.
And you just wanted to do the whole thing?
I just kept on clipping every single time I clipped it. I just started recording the next section. And I was just like, well, I'm just going to keep the whole clip. And I was doing it that way.
Let's this is a New York. What was it called? This New York Times piece. Do you have it? The
I can
title?
get the name pulled up actually really quickly here. Maybe I can. We'll find out in a moment. No, I cannot. But if you can pull that up.
Why we are Republican teachers striking in Arizona. It's time to raise taxes. Is that the?
Yeah, that's actually that one.
That's
Yeah.
a New York Times opinion piece.
Yeah, I was really angry when you told me about that before I watched it, and
Well, you know what it was? There was a similar article about that, but
Well,
now
really
they
quick,
had this YouTube clip that we're about to play.
yeah, say the name for me one more time.
Oh, I gotta go back now.
Yeah, pull it up.
We are Republican teachers striking in Arizona. It's time to raise taxes.
All right, okay.
New York Times opinion.
Really quick, right there. It's just this is why I was angry about it was because of the complete inconsistencies with the principled stand of being a Republican. If you're a Republican, you do not stand for the raising of taxes. Maybe it's just federal. We can say for sure that they would disagree with. But in general, Republican stands for smaller government, lower taxes, the individual
Some
liberties.
Republicans, obviously.
No, Republicans. That's what the Republican Party is based off of. It wasn't it was based off of republicanism, like the country being a republic, you know. But that is what it is, like low tax.
Limited government.
Limited government is a couple of their issues that they believe in. So they're not ideologically consistent, which you know is a really big issue with me.
Well, that's why the New York Times is making it. I mean, who knows how many Republican teachers there are in Arizona that didn't want to raise taxes? They don't have any of them on this clip. They just have like the 5 or 6 that do, and then are willing to go and talk to the New York Times.
Yeah, which makes me believe.
If you're a conservative Republican, are you going to even want to talk to the New York Times? No, because you're not going to trust that they're going to paint you in a positive light.
Exactly.
Or at least that's how I would view
I would
it.
agree with you on that one.
Sorry, New York Times. We're not taking interviews.
I'll take an interview. So here, I'll start playing the video, and if you want to interject, just stop me. If I want to interject, I'm just going to pause it. And I was really.
I'm sure we're going to want to interject.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
From what I remember of this clip.
Yeah, we'll start, and then we'll try our hardest not to interject too much. But here we go.
We're going to interject a lot.
What do we want? When do we want it?
As a conservative, the word strike, union, not in my vocabulary.
I had to stop it right
Already?
there already. Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to let it keep going.
I know you were, but this immediately made me angry because I was a conservative, a staunch conservative at one point.
Yes.
The idea.
Mark Levin was your hero.
Mark Levin was my hero. Michael Savage, massive hero. I never had a problem with unions. So I just hated that whole intro as a Republican.
They're not even supposed to be in unions.
Yeah, I really was angry with that because like that's just already painting with a broad brush, and I just disagree with that statement as a whole. That just because you're a Republican does not mean that you disagree with unions. It just I wanted to get that off my chest.
All right.
Yep.
Our students deserve to have a fully funded education. I did vote for Trump. I consider myself a
The voting for Trump thing?
Yeah. What does that have to do with anything?
I thought you were going to shame me again for voting for
You
Trump.
did, and I guess I'm going to shame you. But like you don't. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, let me go back a little bit and just replay this.
They're just furthering them saying they voted for Trump is just further trying to present this idea that Republicans should want more taxes. That's what this whole piece is.
Well, yeah,
designed to
exactly.
do.
And I was just angry. I think.
You as a Republican should consider tax increases.
Well, I'm not. Yeah. The people that are.
Well, I mean,
we're not,
whoever.
Yeah. I think I was just angry because I could see within that first 18 seconds how quickly they were trying to show their bias. The
New York Times bias.
Yeah.
Shocking expose by the useful idiots.
That's what we're here for. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, just a little bit.
Our students deserve to have a fully funded education. I did vote for Trump. I consider myself a Bible-believing Christian.
Okay, again, what does the Bible-believing Christian have anything to do with anything? Why is it even being brought up in this? What does it have to do with this topic?
So if you believe in the Bible, you shouldn't believe in tax increases.
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to. They're trying to just paint this picture of what you are to start to like. I'm trying to explain my anger here. They're trying to paint a picture for you of exactly who these people apparently were and what they should have believed in, but now what they are believing in after this strike is happening. Okay? So if you're a Christian conservative.
I'm a Bible thumping Christian,
Yeah.
and now I want more government and more taxes.
That's exactly like.
Pay me, pay me more money.
You get it. You're getting it. You're trying to.
My inner Alex Jones, someone's just coming out there.
Yeah. Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Ooh, kind of scary.
All right, I'm gonna.
Funded education. I did vote for Trump. I consider myself a Bible-believing Christian.
I've always been a fan of fiscal conservatism.
I've always voted Republican, but now I'm seeing firsthand what that gets us. The classrooms are falling apart. We have festering bathrooms. We have cockroaches. We have tattered textbooks. Teachers aren't getting the resources that they need within the classroom.
In a wave of protests sweeping across the country, led by teachers who say the future of public education is at stake.
Teachers, and specifically public school teachers.
The future of education is at stake.
Yeah, no, it's not. You think that if the government funded school system goes under, you think there's gonna be no schooling?
Well, according to them, it's not going to be.
If there wasn't a semi-monopoly on it right now by the government, you don't think that somebody would fill in that void? You know, there's already private
We're
schools.
just going to let
and
kids
charter
get
schools
stupid.
right now.
That's
Yeah,
what we're going to do.
what do you think the entire country is going to go uneducated now? Not only that, there's the internet nowadays where you don't even. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't need school, but I'm saying you don't need school.
Well, the school system is antiquated, is the problem. The school system is from 100 years ago. You know, why we have summers off. Why
We get up at 7 o'clock, or you have to be there by 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we have to be there so early. No, not us, but and now like technology has outpaced this system.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, just like they're just trying to hang on to something that should be dying or dead.
Yeah.
I'm not saying kids shouldn't be educated, but the way it is now is not. It's an old flawed system.
It is no flawed system. I learned more in my, we'll say, I mean, it's been 7 years now being out of high school and about.
I mean, really, do we need a building for kids to go to? You could have a live stream on a video, and kids could do it at home on their laptops. Of course, parents go to work or whatever, but that's just an example, like, of what you could do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that the system itself is so flawed that I learned. I learned so much more after I left high school than I did ever through my 13 years of schooling.
Well, it sucks the life out of you.
Yeah, they did not care about. I was not a good student.
Shocking,
right? Yeah, but
I wasn't either when I was in high school. I'll say that.
Yeah, but like to say that I didn't have a thirst for knowledge and I wasn't interested in almost anything. You know what I look into, the things that I research. It's just there's really no bounds to what I am willing to look into and read and talk to people about. It just so happens that
God, you like to talk to people.
Yeah.
You should see Luke at a bar, because Luke will just go up to anybody and everybody and talk to him about deep stuff.
See, yeah, but you're actually building.
It was just so fun to witness the first time I ever went out with you.
You see, you're building a picture now where anybody who wants to do a meetup with us is going to immediately be like, "Oh, Luke's going to be such a fun guy at the bar."
He is. He really is.
Yeah,
Luke,
I guess
you're
you
a
get a few,
fun guy at the bar.
You get a few drinks in me, maybe I am.
Yeah. Me, I'm just as lame at the bar as I am outside of the bar.
Yeah. Paul, you're awesome. What are you talking about?
No, you don't gotta lie.
All right, I'm gonna continue. I do apologize to everybody. I know you might have already forgotten what's already been said.
We're playing a New York Times clip where they're talking about Republicans wanting more taxes.
Yeah, we're gonna. Sorry for cutting into so much, but we'll try and let it play through and let you guys actually hear it.
Falling apart. We have festering bathrooms. We have cockroaches. We have tattered textbooks. Teachers aren't getting the resources that they need within the classroom.
In a wave of protests sweeping across the country, led by teachers who say the future of public education is at stake.
Teachers, and specifically public school teachers, really aren't valued.
I have to work 15 to 20 extra hours a week at McDonald's for minimum wage. Teaching is my calling. I love teaching music to children.
All right, I really try and
I
hold
know.
on.
I saw you holding back.
I would have paused it twice in that time. So okay, one.
So as a taxpayer, we are responsible for their decisions with what they do with their money. For
Dude,
one.
it's beyond that. Yeah, that's one of my points. I'll touch up on that. She needs to work a second job to support her lifestyle.
I've worked second and third jobs too.
We all have, okay? Well, maybe not all of us, but many of us have. And you have to cut back on some things. If you see you can see her recording herself in her home. She looks to have a nice home. If she didn't have to live there, she might be 53 as a school teacher. She made two bad choices, okay? One, she's obviously living outside of her means, so she had to get a second job. And second, she is a music teacher. A music teacher. They're simple. Supply and demand economics here. You understand?
Oh, no, don't try and explain supply and demand to them.
Yeah, I know they don't understand it, but like you're trying to tell me, like it's very obvious that music is not a necessary. It's a luxury to be learning music in school. It isn't a necessity. It's not a necessity to be learning this subject. So the fact that you said that your only option at the age of 53 was to become a music teacher.
And the whole "this is my calling" thing.
That's fine.
That's
fine.
No, that's not fine.
Okay.
Because I've done things that I thought were my calling, and I've changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is totally possible for this woman to have and to still do something else with her life. If she is so destitute by whatever her pay is as a music teacher.
Well, okay.
But even if you increased her, if you doubled her salary tomorrow, I bet you she would still overspend.
Yeah, of course she would. That's just obvious by the fact that she has to work a second job. But
wait, is this one woman or two different women?
This is one woman. This is one woman right here. Beyond that, though, you have to make a choice. And she made it when she got her education and she decided at the age of 17, 18, and she was hoodwinked into going to college in the first place. And she decided, I want to be a teacher. It was obvious from day one that you knew you were not going to be making a rich man's salary. You knew you were doing it for the public good, and you were not going to be making a good amount of money. So,
now hold
so
on.
how can you complain?
Teachers make.
We disagree about this. I get that.
Well, they make it sound like they're making like $20,000 a year.
Yeah,
they're making more than that. They're making like in the 40s or 50s. I mean.
Well, yeah, they're making the 40s and 50s. She's probably making somewhere in the 50s.
Yeah, she's been teaching for however many years.
We live in Illinois, and I told you that my teacher, my geography teacher, my junior year in high school, she the first day that we started class, she sat everybody down and she said, "Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I make $113,000, I believe it was a year, $113,000 a year." That's only working the 7 or 8 months out of the year that we went to school. And then that was also with all the all the benefits that come along with that, all the medical and the pension and everything else. She was open. She made $113,000 a year as a junior year geography teacher, and she was shitty at it. Okay? So, yeah.
And I bet that $113,000 was that pay was determined based on tenure.
It was all tenure.
And how long she's been there.
That's all it was.
Not her ability as an educator.
It was obvious it wasn't ability. She didn't care about teaching.
You caught her at the back end of her career
Mm-hmm.
where she just didn't care anymore.
Yes.
And was just like going to phone it in.
Yeah, all she cared about...
From what you described.
Yeah, all she cared about was just screaming at the young people. Like, she didn't teach. She would just get angry that since she wasn't teaching, we filled our time with just being a bunch of obnoxious, 16 to 17-year-olds, which is normal. But then you don't really have the right to just be screaming at everybody the entire time because you don't feel like teaching.
Well, she makes $100,000 a year, and she's been there for however many years. She has the right to just kick back and let you guys figure it out yourselves. I don't know what voice I'm doing exactly, but that's it's
a union leader. That's a union leader. That's what it is.
That's how I would be if I was a teacher for 20 years and was making over $100,000. Maybe we're just in the wrong profession.
We're podcasters. What are you talking about?
That's an excellent profession.
An excellent profession. We're making bank.
Way more than 100,000.
Way more 100,000. So I'm going to continue it because I could. That just made me very angry. Her trying to get the sympathy.
Your flashback there?
Well,
you mean
this woman for her, she's trying to get sympathy, having to work a second job when she will seem to be possibly an only woman. She was not in a relationship.
Let's not assume too much about her.
Yeah, okay,
background,
fine.
but-
She lived in a nice place, I could tell that. And she decided to choose her career path. And she's unhappy with her financial outcome from her
it's
career
up to
path.
us to help her finances.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Or
you
the
know what, man?
taxpayers of Arizona.
I also wanted to do what I do now, but I also want triple the pay. Yeah, because I don't believe you know what, man? My back hurts and my arms hurt and I'm actually sore pretty often and I'm tired getting up every single day doing it. But
That's because you go to the gym so much too.
yeah, I got to get the anger out somehow. So I don't want to, I want to be able to live better. And I think that everybody should be paying me more. Does it work that way?
We'll just demand more taxes and have them sent to us.
That's a good idea. Let's try that.
That's who I am. And people say, oh, if you don't like the money, go do something else. I can't. I'm 53 years old. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
I know that I will have to work until the day I die. I won't be able to afford to ever be retired.
Because of the way that this
So we have to care about her bad personal choices throughout life?
I mean, I don't know. She could have saved her money or invested it herself.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all you do that now, correct?
well, not very well, but yeah.
Yeah, I do it now, and I am much younger than yourself, and I don't do it well, but at least I do it.
Much younger.
Much younger, yeah.
Damn you.
Yeah, but like you can't. Their arguments are so weak on its face.
Well, it's just they're just trying to get sympathy.
That's all it is. It's all emotion. It's all emotion, but there's no logic. Anyone who's logic would say, if there's anybody that's, this is like when the older guys, if you try and say something about life to them, they're like, you haven't lived life. Like you can't blame other people for your misgivings, for all the things that you chose to do. You're the one who decided not to save up for retirement. You're the one who chose. Well, I don't know how her career is not giving her a pension. That seems false. Like it doesn't seem likely.
Well, let's just assume they got a pension. I mean, even if you have a pension and you got it coming to you when you retire, you could still save money and put it in the bank. You could still live frugally. You know, I mean, even if you're not, especially if you're not making a ton of money.
Yeah, you know, my grandmother, 74 now. She does not make a lot of money at all. She makes very little money. She dropped out of high school. She dropped out of 8th grade, technically. She never made it to high school. She does not get to retire. She's 74, still working.
She's still working?
About 35 hours a week.
What?
Yeah, she's a trooper. She doesn't even ask for sympathy. Every single time I see her, that's our conversation, is just her talking about how much it sucks that she has to get up. She's tired constantly. She hurts, but she knows she can't retire. And she doesn't think about retiring.
You're making me feel bad about your grandmother.
Yeah, of course, man. I feel bad for her, but even I look at her and say, Cam, you're the one who made those choices. And she does not get mad at me. All she says, you're right. I'm an idiot.
Wow.
I mean, like
You're a mean grandson, by the way.
Well, she's at least objective. She at least understands that she also made some bad choices, and it's her fault. Only thing she wishes is she decided to be a little smarter and help out her kids and her grandkids a little more. That didn't happen. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, but she's also not looking back at her. She's not looking at her employer, and she's not looking at the government, and she's not looking at everyone else saying, I deserve more. I deserve to retire. No, she's not. She gets up every single day at 5:30, gets to work, leaves work, and
What does she do for work? Where does she work at?
she works at a publishing company for Bibles and stuff like that.
That's cool.
I guess. She's not a religious woman or anything. She just needs a job, and that's where she got hired there. So, I don't like this woman's argument. That's
Okay.
basically where it stems from.
That was a long-winded version to say that.
state has chosen to fund education for the last 15 years, it simply made it untenable for me to stay. I'm not leaving teaching, I am leaving the state because of these issues. I don't believe it's going to get fixed. I just don't.
That's like freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want things to change, you vote with your feet.
You vote with your feet. I wrote that down in my notes multiple times because I could not believe.
I mean, that's any job. if I work at a retail store and retail stores in a neighboring state pay double what I'm making, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to be happier there.
You've done it actually, haven't you? In your life?
No. Well, what do you mean?
Well, you went to, CarQuest.
Oh, I don't know if we could say these companies out.
I mean, I'm just saying the first one. I'm not going to say the rest of them. But and then you went, and then once better opportunities have come up, you took them, you moved on.
Yes, I've
and you've
changed
done that
jobs
continually until you got to your current position, which is the best one you've had yet.
Yes.
Not saying it's a great one. I mean, neither one of us are great positions, but we.
Yes, me and Luke, we work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And podcast.
And podcast.
Try doing that,
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah, thank you, teachers. Try and do that. And but that's what you do. And if there was a better opportunity somewhere else,
you take it.
You take it, and even if that means you have to move to another state, hell, that sucks. Okay, whatever.
That's the problems adults make. If you work in the private sector, you could be faced with the same choice.
Same exact choice.
Your company can move.
Most private sector, most people I know have all had to make living arrangements, have had to change their living arrangements to get a better job. In fact, I think everyone that I know over a certain age has had to do that. So this guy right here is just giving a sob story, again, with a terrible argument. You vote with your feet. Oklahoma did the same exact thing, and I didn't even bother clipping it, but there was the Oklahoma Teacher of the Year who was making whatever. I don't know. It was very little. We'll just say very little in Oklahoma as the Teacher of the Year. So he was heartbroken, and he moved to Texas to make an extra $18,000 a year.
$18,000 a year?
Yeah, and he's trying to make a sob story.
Wait, this isn't that same clip?
No, different clip.
Oh.
And he's trying to make the sob story. I had to move to Texas to make an extra $18,000 a year.
Well, good for you.
Good for you,
good
right?
for you, yeah.
I didn't think anything bad about it. I'm like, congratulations, you moved to a place with no state, no income tax.
Yeah, no
and
income
an extra
tax.
$18,000 a year.
And an extra $18,000 a year.
What are you complaining? What are you on the news for? Telling people to cry for you.
I had to move to make an extra $18,000 a year. I will move to Texas if there's anybody out there in Texas that wants to hire me to do a job
for an extra $18,000.
For an extra $18,000 a year,
please.
I will come down there.
Yeah, I can still do this podcast there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, right.
We could do it on horseback or something.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We can also go to Glenn Beck Studios.
Ooh, there you go. Mercury Radio.
Mercury Radio. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get a job over there. Yeah, so please, if anyone in Texas wants to give me a job for more money, I'll take it.
$18,000 more.
Yeah. So this guy, another bad argument.
We are 43rd across the nation in teacher salary.
This is why we're going to restore additional assistance. I'm not bragging on 43rd. I'm just saying we're not last.
Another one. Actually, I did get some statistics for this one now, because they are 43rd for what they pay their teachers. But I was looking around, and I forgot which state it was.
I mean, some states got to be first, and some states going to be last.
Well, here, Utah. Utah was one of the worst in all categories for funding. They're 20th in overall education. That means that out of the 50 states, they're 20th in overall education. But they were, I'm pretty sure, at the very bottom of the funding level.
So they're in the top half of the results, but in the bottom half of the funding?
At the very end of the funding. Very end. I mean, I want to say they were last, but I honestly don't want to say they're last because...
Well, what are they doing differently?
Exactly. What are they doing differently? I don't know. But that's kind of what the whole point is of these systems need to figure out what works for them and do it. Private education, these private schools, I looked at the numbers. Arizona spending per student is $7,208. The average for private education, a private school, is $7,700. So for an extra $500, every single private school student is getting according to, what was the name of the NCES? According to the National Center of Education Statistics, the private schools are doing, I got it right here, statistically significantly better. The private schools
That's in their words?
That's in their words. I have the entire thing, and I'll post it on the show notes for everyone where I got the thing for. But yeah, they even said it. They're not even, even the government's not even trying to hide the fact that the private schools far outperform public schools. And it's only a $500 difference per student for Arizona compared to all of the average of the private schools. That's insane to me. Like, really, I can't. I can't grasp how these people can actually get, how they can actually, first of all, how New York Times could be this biased that they can't even put out this information, this simple information that me and you found in an hour, maybe. You know what I mean?
Well, most people aren't going to even spend that much time. They're just going to listen to this. They're going to feel bad for the teachers. It's going to hit them in their emotions and the feels, as the kids like to say. And, you know.
Then it's the New York Times' fault that they are that ignorant and biased that they couldn't even put in the fact that this is like, that there's that $500 difference, but there's just that great of a difference in the actual quality of education. That these Arizona students, these Arizona teachers need to get their shit together and stop complaining.
Well, I mean, they certainly, should we spoil it? They certainly got a huge raise.
Yeah, go ahead and spoil it.
In the end. I mean, the Arizona teachers are, as a result of the strike that lasted between April 26th and May 3rd, will get a 20% raise, 20% increase in pay. 10% raise in 2019 and another 10% in 2020. I actually did some math, and prior to the strike, the average teacher salary in Arizona is $48,372.
How much was it?
$48,372.
Okay.
So we could do some quick math here, and we could find out what the new average will be. Well, if I could find my calculator.
It would be 9,600 over 2 years.
The increase?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's take 48,000.
I mean, you're like an accountant. You can't do this math.
372. No, I can't do math.
I don't want to be cocky, but I did that in my head.
$58,000.
All right. Yeah, 58,000. So I want to say that I do feel bad because all these other states, like I think.
I mean, wow! I wish I can get a 20% raise.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I actually want to say. That I do feel bad that the average that some of these states were giving was only 2% raises, and you know, man, I actually do kind of feel bad that that's all you are getting is a 2% raise. I don't care if you're a public sector, private sector,
some
teacher.
employers don't even get that a year.
You're right. We didn't get that at our job.
At our job.
Which I have a different job now. I don't know. My first year is coming up now, so I don't really know what I'll be getting. I doubt it'll be.
It's not going to be 20%.
It won't be 10%. I'd be surprised if it's 5%. I'd be very surprised. So, we were getting like 1% raises, maybe. I don't even think that. I didn't get a raise my first 3 years working there at all. No raise. So, and I didn't complain, by the way. I just believe, like, obviously the employer understands what my worth is to him. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I thought. I was getting great experience. I started getting a lot more responsibility.
Well, you did over your time there. You did start at one position and you moved up
multiple times
in the ranks.
Yeah, multiple times, and my salary started to increase after responsibility started to grow.
There you go. That's how it's done.
That's how it's done, right? I've only known that way, and I never looked at it a different way. I didn't complain when I didn't get my 3 years.
You didn't walk
raise.
out of your job and strike?
No, no, not at all. Mainly because they would have fired us if we said that.
They still might after hearing us vaguely reference them here.
Yeah, it's right. They don't know who. Yeah,
not you.
You don't have your last name up here. So
no,
it's fine.
No, I don't.
So,
you want to keep going with
the
clip?
We'll keep going with the clip.
Not just striking for a higher salary, we're striking for resources for our classrooms and for our students.
We are at the bottom of the pile for the states.
We've seen teachers walking out or striking in West Virginia, in Oklahoma, and some other states successfully.
And we realized that we were worse off than some of those states were, and it just grew like wildfire.
Teachers are riding a growing wave of anger over deep education cuts made by Republican-led legislatures.
The teacher protests have been described by some as a red state revolt.
I've said I'm on the side of the teachers, and I've been listening, and we've been working.
This is actually just the part when the governor
of
Arizona, he actually announces that he made a 20% increase. Do we really need to go through it?
Yeah, well, I was into it. I wanted to hear it.
Okay, man. I just want to say that it sounds a lot like a hit piece from everything that you just heard in that last 20 seconds.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
This will result in a net pay increase of 20% by the beginning of school year 2020.
So on the surface, that sounds amazing.
It won't help substitutes. It won't help our aides. It won't help our nurses, our front staff.
It comes out of.
So how about you just like take a little bit of decrease in your raises then, and just give it to those people if you really cared. If they really cared, you don't need a 20%.
Well, I wonder
increase.
if the support staff is a different union, because in one of the other states, the support staff is represented by SEIU.
Yeah, you did say. I remember reading that.
Was that Colorado?
Yeah, I think it was Colorado. But my point still remains the same. You don't need a 20% increase in your income. You don't.
I needed to.
You would like it. Maybe I needed it.
Maybe they thought they weren't going to get it. Maybe that was 20% that was the number that they threw out there that they're gonna, and then they'd settle for 10. You know, like.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think that's what happened in Oklahoma. Was they asked for 10%, they got 6% increase.
Right. The union that's negotiating.
That's negotiating.
You ask for more, but
yeah.
But no, this guy in Arizona, he's just gonna give them whatever kind of crazy number they ask for.
Yeah. What kind of representative for his base is he? You know what I mean? He's raising the taxes on his people.
Oh, we didn't get to how they're gonna pay for it now.
Oh yeah, go ahead and get into that.
Oh no, I didn't have that ready.
That's here. I'm gonna play until he's finished with this part, and then you can talk about it.
Funds that go to veterans, people in our population who are disabled and on Medicaid, colleges and universities in our state.
I voted for Governor Ducey, and I was really hopeful. And now, honestly, I just feel betrayed.
How can you say you're pro-life and pro-family and pro-middle class?
Even as a conservative, I think it's only fiscally responsible to increase a tax to fund public education.
Oh my gosh, did I just say it out loud? I do. I support a tax. I will tell you this right now. If you are a Republican politician, you better get behind education.
Oh my God,
I support taxes that increase my pay. That's exactly what they just said.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. You know what? Screw everybody.
I'm going to take your money and put it in my pocket.
Yeah,
because that's exactly what they're doing.
It's like the one thing that teachers try and always push is that they are the ones who care. They're the ones who care.
They are guiding your children's future.
Yeah, they're guiding them to this weird belief that it's just a me society. Like that's all they care about. They want to hurt everybody just for their own personal gain. So for 200,000 people, they want to hurt another 300 million people.
Wow, when you put it that way.
Yeah, when you put it that way, because that's how a democracy and a republic work, you know.
All right, so in Arizona, the increased salary is going to be paid for a new $18 car registration fee that's expected to raise $149 million a year. What were you going to say there? Were you going to say something?
Keep going, man.
They're going to change how the state...
Actually, I'm sorry. I do have to say something about that.
Oh.
I just had to get my emissions test done and a new plate sticker. And I will say that I wanted to actually record a show while I was going through it because of how angry I was that I had to have the government every single year force me to get a new sticker and pay $121.
A new sticker for you is $121?
$121. I'm not rich. You know, we've talked. You've said that's a regressive.
I thought we were rich. A few minutes ago, we were talking about how we were podcast ballers.
Yeah,
here.
well, we lie.
Oh no, that's not.
I know we lied to everybody,
and that's what MSNBC is gonna play when we're getting roasted by them.
I'll get roasted as long as it gives us some publicity. All right.
No such thing as bad publicity,
yeah,
according
exactly.
to Luke LaFair.
According to Trump as well.
Said the last name there. We could add that out.
That's right. I'll probably keep it in there. No one's gonna listen to the end of the show.
Oh.
Okay, so we're definitely gonna edit that out now.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm gonna come back into the actual. So I am pretty upset. $121 for a new plate sticker. Like, I mean, you said that's regressive tax. How did you word that? You really always articulate with that specific.
Oh, I don't think I understood what I was writing there with the regressive tax thing.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, basically, it still comes down to that you're hurting people like myself who don't have a lot of money. I'm trying to make ends meet for the most part. I'm trying to get my feet, together. I'm trying to start to, I'm trying to stop on this spinning wheel, this hamster wheel, and I can't because the government keeps on putting obstacles in my way. That every single time something comes up where I just finally think I get a few more dollars in my bank account. The government comes in with some new thing that I didn't even think about. I'm like, when did this come in?
They find new ways to squeeze
They
the
find new ways to squeeze the taxpayer, and then I'm just right back to maybe not square one, but it definitely prolonged my entire game that I'm playing by maybe at least a few months, if not longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really infuriating. And I was talking to myself in the car while I was going through all this.
Oh, and property taxes.
Yeah, property taxes.
That's how they're going to pay for the Arizona teacher strike increases, pay increases. There you go, Arizona. You got your education funded.
Yeah, my mom just moved over there, and she just bought a home. Like, she just, like...
Her property taxes are going up.
4 months ago, she just moved there. And it's just unbelievable. Yeah, it's just... In fact, they were talking about the strike when they came back to visit this past week.
Yeah, did they witness anything out there?
No, but apparently what had happened was, my stepfather's a union man. My mom is a government worker at the moment, so they're
very much they're very much going to hate this episode, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I don't think they really would care. I think they kind of understand, like, we just got our own views, and they're some of the most easygoing people when it comes to other people's views. They don't care. Like, you got your views, I got our views.
So why don't you, as a social experiment,
Mm-hmm.
go into your house tomorrow or tonight or whenever, and say, those Arizona teachers, they're overpaid. They should not have gotten those increases. Arizona taxpayers got screwed. Say that to them and see what they say.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. We'll bring it up on the next show.
All right, there we go. maybe do it on mic. Maybe record their reactions.
Yeah, if I can find one of my portable mics, I'll go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I'll just have to do it by. You have to trust what I say.
We're gonna type it out there.
Yeah. So, was there anything else that they were gonna raise for this one? Was it just
no, I was getting all my different states confused here that we were trying to figure out.
Yeah, because we had West Virginia, Oklahoma, Arizona, Colorado, Los Angeles, and then did I say West Virginia?
You did. That's what
did
you
Did
started
I say Kentucky?
With. No, you didn't say.
So Kentucky was the last one.
Kentucky was weird because Kentucky was just sort of like a walkout, and they were protesting a pension reform. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like a true strike like the other schools were.
Well, not really all of them.
I mean, it seems like this is like ever since West Virginia, it seems like it's been a domino effect. And everyone out there, all the teacher unions out there are like, where's mine? I need my increase because they got theirs. Where's mine?
Yeah, and they do it. Like Illinois has done it.
2012.
Yeah, 2012. They did it sooner than that, though, didn't they?
I thought that was the last. Was that the last one?
No, they definitely did it recently as well.
I remember where I was working at the time, the first teacher strike.
Yeah, because I remember that it happened in that 2012, and then it happened within only a couple years after. So maybe 2015.
You might be right, yeah.
And I remember I was pretty angry at the fact that you just got a raise. We've already got so many issues with our budget in Illinois. And
Illinois schools are terrible. Chicago public schools are terrible.
Yeah, the public schools are, but I actually looked at our ranking online. We are 24th in overall education.
What about teacher pay?
I did not look at the teacher pay, unfortunately.
I bet we're close to the top. I'd say top 5.
We're probably pretty good. Because I know, like I said, my teacher was making $113,000.
Yeah.
So
CPS teachers start in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always like to complain about how little they're making.
And they all make a decent amount.
Yeah, more than me.
I wasn't going to admit that.
Well, I'm fine with admitting that one. I know that I do not make that at all, and I would die for that.
And they also have summers off.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm working outside in the hot summer. Right now, every time I get home, I sweat all day. I come home, I shower, and I'm right back. I'm like as sweaty as I was before I even take a shower.
Do you get to wear shorts to work at your?
Yeah, I do get to wear shorts.
Yeah,
not like last time when I worked with you, where I had to wear black pants, black shirt
in the summertime
inside of a hot garage. That's all it was. It wasn't really terrible. It got me used to the heat, but it was like, and you never got a complaint from me. You just never. I got a paycheck every week, and that's all I cared about. I got a paycheck every week.
Yeah,
nice.
I don't know. People just get used to different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like if teachers across the country got their summer vacations taken away, they would flip out.
Yeah. And I would take an extra week of vacation.
Yeah, man. Like
I would take an extra week.
2 weeks off, man. That's just wow.
In fact, taking off a day was pulling teeth with our manager. I didn't even try because of how hard it was. I'd ask for it and they'd be like, unfortunately,
so and so is going to be off that.
So and so is going to be off that week. Not even that day. Just some day that week. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're gonna have to kind of scramble like a couple days that week. You really want to do another person to scramble on that week? It wouldn't even be like we'd be short that day. It would just be,
So you get guilted into working.
You get guilted into working more. And I was a good employee, and I would suck it up. What are you laughing about?
You said you're a good employee.
What are you laughing about?
Hold on. Unrelated. Totally unrelated.
People have this weird perception of me.
I don't think they think you're bipolar. I think at this point in time, we're rich, we're poor, we're good employees, we're bad employees. We lie.
I like to spread as much disinformation as possible.
That one's for you.
Yeah. Now you can never trust what we say. All right. So, did you want to wrap up with any final thoughts about this?
I mean, there are a lot of good teachers out there. I will say that. I've had some good ones. I've had some bad ones too. But just this whole system of the government and funding schools with taxpayers' money and unions representing the teachers, like it's all a big machine, and it's all a big, not to mention, we didn't even talk about how teacher unions and teachers are largely Democrat.
Yeah, and we'll be able to talk about that and the effects that it has on our political system at a later episode. Maybe if anything, we'll be able to just kind of touch on a bunch of different topics in another episode, where we can maybe just we don't have to actually go fully in depth about these topics, but there's no way we can fit it into today's episode. But that is a topic that we need to hit on because of how, it has such a massive impact on our political system that there's no way we can let that go.
It's just a bad situation. It's a bad cycle, and a cycle of teachers looking for teacher unions and teachers looking for more money. Maybe it's just beginning, or maybe they're just trying to flex political muscle to influence November elections.
It seems most likely in the latter.
That could be a part of it. We'll see where this story goes. Maybe by the next time we record, more schools will be on strike.
Yeah, and we'll be there to go and update everybody about that.
Maybe we'll get some action in Illinois. That'll be kind of exciting.
Maybe we can actually go and be some
we
live
could
correspondents
get some footage.
Maybe we'll send one of our correspondents for it.
Yes, one of our correspondents, our foreign correspondent. No,
that's
foreign. Domestic.
Yeah, we'll have our domestic one.
We'll find a correspondent. We'll deputize somebody.
Oh, we have correspondents. We'll know which one to send. All right, everyone. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in for today's episode.
Hopefully, you're still here.
And I'm sure they are. Please be a Useful Idiot. Subscribe to us on YouTube at The Useful Idiots Show. Follow us on Twitter at Useful Idiots Show. Subscribe and rate the podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen. And visit our website at usefulidiotshow.com. We'll see you guys back for next episode.